Good afternoon, good evening, everybody on SGL. How are y'all doing? How are you? I am Valerian. I am joined by Cousinton here. Pleasure to have you with me, sir.
It's good to be here. We're here for some reverse boss order. So these players are going to fight Ridley first, and then Dragon, then Phantoon, and finish up with Kraid.
Been a fun start to the multi-category tournament with things going on yesterday. For those who aren't familiar, you can think of different categories in Super Metroid as like different maps. Each player gets to ban out one map or one category, one run, and then they choose between the remaining. And the first choice is what's said. We've got a reverse boss order. It's going to be a little more dicey than what we were seeing yesterday with the GT codes.
Yeah, instead of picking up the suits to protect them from heat, they're just going to go around with no suits the entire time.
Which we started off with no suits in the GT set, but we ended up having his suit, come through at one point. Use that little debug code casually get everything at once. Try to not get a murder beam on yourself and freeze up the game, but past that, made it a little bit easier past that. So, yeah, this one will be exceptionally dicey. Not getting things at all. So we've got the series starting off here. We do have that little bit of a desync. Don't worry, we're going to get things all synchronized up. It's just series station. I don't think there's any category where this changes up, huh?
True completion changes up series. If you do true completion, you have to actually defeat Series Ridley with 100 shots.
Oh, yeah.
And Mappo also changes up series because you have to leave the room and come back in to get the map tile.
That's one that I definitely don't know, and I would not... Couldn't even imagine going through all of that. Yeah, Mappo and TC. Hey, Polar Bear Bunny. Always appreciate chat, keeping an eye on things, keeping me in line. But this is neither Mappo nor TC, and we are not going to be seeing those in this tournament, so...
Unfortunate.
First minute and a half or so, we're going to be pretty standard across the board. And really even past that, getting down on Zeebs.
And a 45. So exactly 1 second and 2 centiseconds apart.
Super, super close.
Almost exactly 1 second apart.
Almost the exact.
So the first part of the game, we're essentially just preparing for upper warfare hell runs. I expect them both to do those hell runs on 2 E-tanks and 1 reserve. That's what Kev has been practicing for the last little while. So that's what he's comfortable with. It is possible to go back down the Retro Brin elevator and collect the Retro Brin tank early with a D-boost easily, but that costs like 70 or 80 seconds. The risk of not collecting it is you might end up losing time farming for energy in Bubble Mountain. Cemo pulls ahead here using Moonfalls. Kev is not a Moonfall player, so...
Cemo did have a little hiccup there, but you can see just how that extra fall speed makes such a big difference.
I think those hiccups actually canceled out what he gained there. Well,
I think he's still got just a little bit more of an edge than what he came out of onto the landing site, but it is close for sure.
Yeah, he had a solid lead coming out of landing site and closed up some of it with those little hiccups on the Moonfalls.
This RBO was chosen by Kev to start. They were chit-chatting in the race time room, and he said, yeah, I went ahead and banned low percent ice because Cemo. So,
Yeah. Cemo is very good low percent player.
Yeah.
Cemo actually has mastered baby skip in low percent ice. That's how good Cemo is.
Wild. He probably won't look to play, like to choose it. unless he's against someone like Zenny and obviously wants to try to where he thinks he can get a critical win out.
Yep. You gotta pick your choices carefully in these.
Very much so. And that's where Kev was going with the RBO idea.
Oh, cemo is turning around to collect that retro Bryn tank early. So you'll see that cemo will arrive at Bomb Torso about 80 to 90 seconds behind Kev. And then...
I think he just muscle memory up the elevator?
No. You have to go up the elevator and open the gray doors in order for these enemies down here to spawn. If you don't go up the elevator, there's no enemies down here, and it is much more difficult to collect the tank. See? With the enemy, it's just this simple first try deboost.
But without you doing some taco tank shenanigans.
Yeah. And so these missiles actually reduce the amount of time that it costs to come get this, because these give you a faster Bomb Torso fight and faster access to the Brinstar Reserve. Plus, we're looking to pick up a total of 6 missile packs before entering Lower Norfair, and that's a really convenient missile pack because it's right next to a tank.
Kev, unfortunately, not going to be able to skip that decapitation animation, but he is going to get Bomb Chorizo down pretty easily after that. cemo, though, is still on his heels, and like you said, has that extra missile pack to not just, hey, I've got it now, I need it at some point, I may as well get it with the other E-Tank. But getting it ahead of Bomb Chorizo is going to speed up his kill on that as well, so... Easy Alcatraz for Kev. He's going to push forward, and you were mentioning to me earlier, before we got onto the stream itself, Kev is going to be doing a bit different for this RBO, a bit different of a route than what other might expect, right? Because you've got single Norfair or double Norfair.
Yeah, so I don't expect anyone besides Zenny to run single Norfair. And even he might decide that double Norfair is more worth his time. Single Norfair, you make one trip down, and you do everything in Norfair in one trip. Double Norfair, you go down to get speed, wave, then you come back up to get the climb supers and the other Edakun supers and the Sporespawn supers in Brinstar. And maybe also some E-Tanks for safety. And then there's Double Meridia on top of that, where after you come out of Norfair, you also collect Ice Beam on your way out, and you use that to go collect 1 or 2 super packs in Meridia, and possibly another E-Tank. Kev typically runs the Double Meridia route. That's what I've been watching him practice the last several weeks, so... This reserve tank is crucial.
Oh, yes.
It helps out in interesting ways in the hell runs. Particularly when you're fighting Ridley. If you get picked up, your reserve won't trigger until his death animation finishes. So then you have the 75 energy from his death animation to his drops. So that you can actually survive. And also, it's a thing that holds 100 energy, and it's practically on path, so you want it.
Just that little slip to the side with the early supers as well.
Yeah, cemo didn't enter with enough missiles to go directly into the reserve room, so...
Got a great deboost, though. They're doing well with the resources available, even though they had the extra missile pack. But we're able to easily turn that around. That was such a clean deboost. I really love how they pulled that off. And I was going to say, Kev had a slick mock ball coming out of the reserve.
Yeah, you practice that mock ball a lot in Hondo, too. And Kev is also a good hundo player, so.
So just a whole lot of prep leading off the start here. Like you said, the upper north air runs to start, and then just the fight with Ridley. You need to be as prepared as possible. The best resources that anybody could ever ask for would be just full everything. But when you're running this, what do
You don't have
you keep?
choices.
Yeah, what
So-
do you keep an eye out for? What do you like? Hey, I really need to keep an eye on my super count. I need to make sure that my health doesn't get too low.
I mainly care about health. Like, these CACs provide enough supers for the early part. And then I'm mainly avoiding taking damage, so Kev went down Red Tower, cemo was going up. So cemo is going to pick up Alpha PBs before going into Upper Warfare. Which means cemo is probably running a semi-late Croc plan. So cemo will probably pick up Croc on the second trip to Norfair, whereas Kev is going to visit Croc on the first trip. So these routes are going to be pretty different the whole way through.
Yeah, it may be a little difficult to see who's quote-unquote ahead at any point with these diverging routes, but it makes it so interesting. And Simo did get through the red tower, like you said, picking up that Alpha power bomb right off the bat, just as Kev slips into the high jump boots energy tank, almost synchronized in getting their items.
So Kev really wants that reserve to be full before he goes into Cathedral Hell Run. Because 2 E-tanks plus 1 reserve tank is very tight. And he had nothing before he came into High Jump Room. So he's probably going to farm all of the servers going up the business center and hopefully take a safety save.
Also seeing in chat that it is Simo's birthday. Everybody wish them a very happy birthday. Happy birthday to Simo from, well, certainly from comms, and I'm sure from all of chat as well.
Yeah, that's some sort of in-joke. I'm not sure how it started, but they say it all the time.
Oh. Well then, happy birthday, Simo. It's their birthday, everyone.
So part of the planning for this is the number of power bombs to pick up before Lower Warfare, because that affects how reliant you are on farming more down there. If you run a 15 power bomb route, you have to rely on farming power bombs in the middle of, say, the fast pillars room while you're holding a spark. If you pick up 20 power bombs, you're less reliant on that. So, Simo picked up beta PBs. After picking up Croc PBs, that will put Simo at 15. We'll have to watch and see whether Simo goes up to 20 PBs or not.
Kev going through some very dicey hell run. Did don't want to stay in that lava. Okay.
Yeah. That's the risk of running 2E plus 1R. These hell runs are very dicey, and this farming right here is actually the cost of not picking up Choco Tank. So this is costing like 20 or 30 seconds. It would be less of a cost if Kev had gone to Alpha Power Bombs early to be able to farm those Sobas quickly. Kev needs a good 70 to 80 energy to go into that speed bugs room.
Right, just because the farm is there doesn't mean that it's free. You've got to get up to it with all that ticking.
Yeah.
Did take that safety save just in case. Great call. And now with
104
104,
is
he's
good.
going to head on in. Yeah.
But that closes a lot of the gap between Kev and Simo from that Taco Tank.
Lots and lots of fanfares to start off this route. That is a-okay. All runners need to be as prepared as they can be, and taking those extra saves. There are times when you would just completely bypass a save if you're just doing a personal race. But when you've got an opponent, you can't risk a death, because then that could be just absolutely it, right?
Yeah, when you're going for a personal best, you might think, oh, well, it only takes like 15 seconds to go into the save room and use it. But if you actually take a death, it can cost you like 2 or 3 or even 5 minutes just to get back to where you died.
Hmm.
So a run that takes a death can't really be your personal best anymore.
Right. And you may just say, okay, well, if that happens, then I'll just reset. Oh, cemo. They are really low. They've got their reserve, though. Oh, no. Well, this is exactly why we've got that save.
Yeah, that's why the alternate name for that room is Rising Died. Um,
Very
it
fitting.
went bad at the beginning when Cemo took that hit from the Squeeped for 80 damage. Ideally, you just want to hit the one Sova and get out of the lava after, before the lava really rises up. And once that room goes wrong, it tends to go wrong a lot more.
It was super, super close. They were just about out of it. But unfortunately, just about doesn't quite cut it. Great weave there with the pseudo spark.
Yeah, that's a really good pre-cathedral. Ah, that's why it was the
That's
80% style of Rising Tide, where you go over the top and take a deboost.
into Bubble Mountain with 100% fewer deaths. You love to see it.
And you notice Simo came in with the reserve full and 47, so Simo can just come in here and auto-trigger the reserve. Oh, that reserve was not full at all.
Whoop. But it was enough. It was enough.
So, before Kev did the Wave Hell run, you saw him farm the CAC and the Waver after doing the Speed Hell run. So, Simo won't have to farm both of those because of that extra taco tank. So that's another small time trade-off in whether to pick up that Retro Brain tank early.
And he is getting just every ounce of energy that he can from that farm.
Yeah. The general wisdom is when you're farming there, you see your auto sign flash on, that's 1, and then you count up to 3, and you count 2 more farms, and then you've got a fair amount in your reserve, and you can run down to speed back. And then when you get back, you count like 2 farms where you see you're hitting into the reserve, and then it'll be full. Unless you get really bad RNG.
Alright, so while Simo continues to farm that up, get that energy back, Kev is over on Croc. Poor Croc, getting harassed in this category. Sometimes he's ignored, sometimes he's harassed. Dude just can't catch a break. But unfortunately, he is in between our runners and an E-Tank that's really good.
Simo left the speed bugs room with 347 energy. That 47 is really good. Normally, I can only have a 44 when I'm heading out of the room. So
Gives a lot more leeway as he's moving through, collecting the wave here.
clean movement makes a huge difference in these hells.
Great spark there. Kev did not get the door opened early, but was able to store it, get the shot off, and then move through.
Cemo almost died.
Nah, he's fine. They're fine. They are A-okay.
Cemo missed the gap skip coming into double chamber, and then almost got tagged by the Viola.
Never a doubt. Perfectly clean.
So now Cemo, you see Cemo's not going up to Croc, because it's slightly faster to do Croc on the second visit. Cemo is going to head up Red Tower and go back up the Green Hill to go up to Climb and collect Climb Supers. And Cemo did not go into the Ice Room, so we know it's not going to be a double Meridia. Double Meridia essentially gives you an extra Super Missile pack, which makes your Ridley fight much more likely to succeed on the first try.
The Super's doing double damage to Ridley. They're just... The 5 extra Supers are so unbelievably powerful.
Yeah. That's what makes single warfare so hard to do, is you only have 20 supers, whereas Cemo is going to have 25 supers for me. Cemo is being careful to stay above 80 energy here. Well, actually, going back into Pink Bryn first, because he doesn't have good energy for doing the spark after taking a hopper hit. He's going to start off with Waterway Tank. Waterway Tank is not strictly necessary, but an extra tank is a good safety.
Would this help to eliminate a tank later on?
No.
Okay, so it's just the extra safety move going on.
Yeah. So pretty much the minimum for RBO is 60 tanks and 1 reserve before Lower Norfair. This will be the 7th tank. Ev will be going back to pick up that taco tank later when he goes up to do his cleanup stuff in Brinstar. And Kev will probably also be collecting this minute-long trip to Waterway.
Good little clip
Nice
through
clip.
by Cemo.
Not quite as clean as the high-end Honda runners, but got through.
And first try on that super to push through it.
Yeah,
Sometimes
there's
they can be a little
like
precise.
5 positions you can line up with, and the further back you are, the wider the position is. You pick some favorite position that you like, and you learn how to line up with it really quick. Cemo used 2 power bombs there. If he had laid the 1 power bomb near the ceiling before shooting the super block, then he could have gone by with just 1.
Yeah, I was going to say, that hits both, right?
Yep. Kev took the Slaughter's refill because he's going to head into Retro Bryn before Pink Bryn, and he wanted to easily be able to survive a couple of hopper hits. So we're actually going to see him do the same things in reverse order.
There's a great mock ball across the new bridge. Clean movement in Super Metroid is just so unbelievably satisfying. It's so difficult to do, but when it's done, it's just so good.
It's actually a really sick Dakar room strat from Cemo. So when you're running in towards Dakar room, the ledge leading up to the door is actually a perfect length, so that you hold dash all the way to the door, you release it in the door, and then you press again right after crossing the gap that drops down, and you'll break the bomb blocks with speed. And then Sibo also shot the door open and bounced off the BTOM and morph to to already be in morph to lay the power bomb to go down.
Wow, that's slick. So Kev just picked up Taco Tank. Also, still behind on the 2 E-Tanks. But they're going to look pretty similar when they're making their way to Lower North area, right?
Yeah.
You said there's 1 extra tank on Cemo's side?
Mm. No,
Or
they're
did
going to have the same number of tanks by the time they hit the level warfare. Unless Kev goes for Gauntlet and Simo does not go for Gauntlet. I don't expect Simo to pick up Gauntlet because it's inconvenient when you're going around the loop this direction.
Oh, Shrine Spark just barely missed White Cat there. Easy second get, though.
So Kev has to stay one step ahead of the X-Parasite here and leave the room before Simo gets up there. Kev had Ice Beam. Simo missed the D-boost the first try. Gonna go back and go for a blue strat through.
It's all good. They are really not far behind at all. Easy. Grab those supers. Keep pushing forward. Kev is getting some distance, but here's the item difference from earlier. Has a great speedball. There's a large super disparity between the 2, the 7 to the 16.
Yeah, they'll farm that back up. They'll be on full super before they enter Lower Warfare.
Oh, for sure. It's just on how much they'll have to farm. And of course, always depending on the drops. Live by the drops, die by the drops for Metroid.
That's a 6 speedball. There's got to be some cool way to use Temp Blue to take out 2 of those hoppers instead of just 1. If you unmorph with angle held, and when you're doing a speedball, you keep the blue in what we call a Temp Blue, and you can still kill enemies that way, so... no blockbuster. Simo was trying for a hundo strat where you fire a shot at the right time to open the door, and then you also mockball through the door with speed to break the blocks.
Right.
I'm not sure what this refill is for.
Play at extra
to go to
safe?
Ice and Croc. Oh. Yeah, 3 tanks is a bit close for going to Ice and Croc, but it'd be enough.
They might just feel that much more they would want to be that much more confident. Simo wants to be. Just the extra safety measure.
Safety costs less time than a death, so...
Yep. I mean, I'm gonna steal that. That was great. Oh, what a great speedball. Both runners are cooking up really, really well.
Yeah, it's reminding me that I need to work on my own execution as well. Okay, the slowness refill is justified. Cemo is going to be a bit too low to reach the energy tank when he gets down there. On this slope, so anytime that you're running and taking heat damage, if the sound effects line up in the wrong way, you'll actually lose the speed echoes, but only if you're still holding dash. So what Cemo actually did on that slope was get up fast enough to have speed echoes and then release dash to not accidentally lose them in the middle of running through speed blocks and enemies.
All these little minute details coming into play. Love it.
Cemo got the wraparound, so you stand at that exact position, you fire your charged wave spacer shot, and it'll actually open the door on the left side of the room.
Mm-hmm. Kev didn't get that, was able to get the shot off just before releasing the Shine Spark, but now Cemo doesn't have to worry about that at all.
How did that Puyo survive? That's weird.
Not only did it survive, got the super missile through the energy. I thought he had grappling beam equipped, I think.
So, when Kev did the waterway spark, he did it really high so that he could down grab onto the ledge. And as luck would have it, the Puyo was low enough to survive and avoid the spark.
Imagine just being that Puyo flat to the ground as Sam is flying over your head, blowing up everything around you. Yeah, that's the only way that it could have been.
Cemo decided to farm up to full before heading down to grapple because there's a fair chance of taking some damage on the way to grapple or on the way back. So farming up before can be faster.
Big jump right into that mock ball. Perfect roll up into it. Oh, that was so slick by Cemo. Movement from both has been so good in this run. It is an
Now we
absolute
see
treat to
Kev
watch.
heading into his first Meridia trip, going in there just to pick up crab supers for that one extra super pack of safety.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a gravity jump off the tube break because when you transition from air to water, you get the air initial velocity for your jump, and then you have the water drag, so you slow down very slowly.
Get a lot of extra height off of that. Your platform to platform, freezing fish, freezing crab.
If you miss any of these jumps going up Main Street here, it's good 20 seconds lost each time you miss a jump. Like that jump was only like 5 or 10 seconds. But there are other jumps that can easily cost you 20 or 30. Cemo is not going for the lava snake spark. Probably good because that costs more energy than swinging across with grapple.
Mm-hmm. Did refill before it, but still went ahead for the
Yeah, you need all that energy
grapple
to
across.
survive the lava dive.
Yep.
Cemo's actually on 25 power bombs, which is pretty cozy. So that first jump in lava dive is to despawn a flame, and the second jump is to have this top guy
Oh,
halfway through his animation.
yeah. Simo didn't quite get over the lip.
He got over there, but then he did that last wall jump a little bit too high and bonked the Namahe instead of getting all the way over to the left. And on this energy, you make one mistake and you're dead. So
Yep.
you have to first try lava dive.
Yeah, when I was speaking on didn't get over the lip, I meant literally of the. I should have said chin, because that wall jump was too high on the right side.
Ah, Simo got the mid-air spark through the door this time. Nice.
Get that refill again,
Yeah, you
and
have to take
once
that
more.
refill before going.
Mm-hmm.
Kev shooting the fish before jumping up so the fish doesn't get in the way. Ouch. But yeah, you take that spike hit, you have to turn around. Otherwise, you'll die in the lava. And there's another 30 seconds lost. We might think it's rude to say, oh, they lost 30 seconds, but I guarantee you that's what's going through someone's head whenever that happens. Kev had a really nice morning, though.
Next lava dive attempt for Simo. Get that flame despawned, like you said.
Yeah, get the second guy, well, the top guy, partway through his animation so that he lines up differently so he can jump directly up like that.
The reserve helping to push through. And just
Yeah.
in spot for the crystal flash.
Yeah, you saw how Simo paused just a moment before entering the save room. That he'd be below 51 inside the save room to crystal flash before saving.
Mm-hmm. It was very, very well done.
Now for the second boss, the green gate glitch.
Yeah, no kidding.
And Kev is not far behind. Oh, that jump to save a few extra frames with some fall speed and shooting the pirate to make him flinch and not shoot you.
Come on, Green Gate. Come on. Yeah.
So Kev uses a roll-in strat, whereas Simo used a run-in strat. If you execute the left side fast enough, they're the same speed.
Interesting. Just player comfort.
Yep. One thing, though, is when you unmorph, if you unmorph too high, it's really easy to lose a bunch of time with Samus hanging in air at 0 speed before landing to let you move forward. So you have to time your unmorph really well to make it the same speed. And Kev didn't have the top guy partly through the animation, so had to do an extra wall jump before jumping up. So, slightly slower lava dive, but Kev had that extra E-tank from Mama Turtle to go down the elevator before crystal flashing. So Kev has more energy leeway to use on farming these rippers for supers. And Kev also has an extra super pack.
Simo did get the green gate glitch, of course. Got past that second boss. Kev. 3 more shots. There we go.
Green Gate almost claimed 2 lives today.
Yep, he's got
That's
those
still
power
really
bombs
bad
selected because
to use
he'll
that
go
many
right back
supers
into
on it, though,
farm.
because you want to be on full supers before you go into GT. So that eats into your energy, it eats into your powerbomb count, and Kev is actually going to go grab Screw Tech right now before his energy runs too low. And of course, they cannot do the GT code because that would
Yep,
disqualify them. Because that
this
is
is not
not
a
this
GT
category.
run. Yeah.
Yeah, Kev is trying to line up on a specific position and then jump through the door just the right way to get back up to use Screw Attack to farm supers from the Rippers.
There it is.
Not farm very many supers from GT during the fight, but got 5 drops from the death, so that's from GT's dying, so that's good.
Yeah, the baseline might be to say that, well, you want to get, you're so low on energy, you want to get some energy for that, but there's a refill right after, so you really want to see those ammo drops more than anything.
Yeah. Um, these extra super farms that Kev is doing are why it's bad to miss the Green Gate so much.
Mm-hmm.
If you get the Green Gate first try, you don't have to do those extra farms. That spot where cemo just was, if you're running on 15 power bombs, you actually have to stop and farm those 2 orbs to pick up power bombs while you're holding the spark.
Oof.
And so that's one reason to run on 20 or 25 power bombs like cemo is.
Mm-hmm. It's really low for CMO. They've got the reserve. Yeah,
And,
take the crystal flash for sure.
yeah, worst room in the game. Earns its name. Yeah, cemo took a flame hit, which dealt 200 damage. Ooh, almost kissed the pirate.
Still able to get through. Not too
Yeah,
bad at all. And drops. Oh, the super drops for Kev. Still not great. He got GT down and only walked out with 2 supers. So
oof. cemo will probably have to farm Fireflies an extra time to have enough power bombs for the next Crystal Flash.
yeah,
Even using
seeing them go
grapple to
through.
pick up that last power bomb. And you just learn by feel where the platform is going to be and how to jump to get back up.
Cemo needing, like you said, needing every power bomb that they can get. Every farm that can be had. All the collection, all the resources and ammo and such picked up ahead of time, and this is exactly why. This is where we want it to be used.
Ah!
It,
Do not want to follow the spikes there.
it's okay though. I mean,
Those
it's
spikes,
far from
they do
ideal.
60 damage.
Yeah, and that's 60 more health you got to farm up. But they're doing all right. They're not dead by any stretch.
That puts you in a worse position when you're in the farm room before Ridley.
Mm-hmm.
So. Kev has finished his super farming and now has his own trip to worst room in the game to do.
Picking up just a few more on the way out.
I forgot that he's on a max of 30 and not a max of 25.
Yeah, walking into Pillar Spark with 28 supers, 12 power bombs. Feeling pretty okay.
So you notice
I say half sarcastic.
we're dealing with the ninjas. They shoot it at just the right time, and while the ninja's flinching, he's got sort of iframes and he won't hurt you. So you just run through and kill him with a correctly positioned spark afterwards.
Kev getting through the worst room, thinking on a possible crystal flash, but wants to push through.
Well, he was positioning so that when he ran through into amphitheater, he would land in the correct place.
Makes sense.
The
Which is
speed
not
that
the
you
pirate.
have going through the door is pretty crucial to whether you land on the pirate or in front of the pirate or behind the pirate. So players have specific positions that they aim for, depending on what they're used to landing. Oof.
Still got the E-Tank.
Yeah,
Far from ideal.
not
But
great to take the spike hit. That last
Yeah.
reserve.
can they grapple
that-
me? I can't
yeah.
reach that far.
Cemo was trying to get out of near-death range to be able to crystal flash.
Slowly making progress. The health is a little higher each time.
Yep, you can gain about 2.4 health per second doing this farm, so if you're trying to farm up a full tank, it's a good way to spend a minute. The other problem that Cemo has from the low energy was that Cemo was not able to open the Ghidorah before doing the Crystal Flash, so it was going to be short a super entering this Ridley fight.
Do you think they're looking to just farm up some extra ammo at this point? Not making necessarily much
So you
headway
do
on
the
health.
Crystal Flash, you farm it up until your supers are full, and you hope that your energy is still high when your supers finish filling up. If you try to spend more time filling up your energy tanks all the way after your supers are full, it'll cost you about a minute per tank.
Right.
So it's not really something you want to do, but if you do that and you don't die to Ridley, it's better than not doing it and dying to Ridley, because a Ridley death will cost you about 5 minutes.
Alright, on our first Ridley fight, starting off, nice easy X Factor into a slew of supers. And Cemo immediately slaps on all the other beams. Just the one X Factor.
Yeah. The more X Factors you do, the more likely you are to take damage. And you absolutely do not want to take a Ridley's hit.
Yep, there's a fireball hit. That wasn't any good, but...
That fireball actually saved Cemo's life.
Oh, really? Please do tell.
Cemo ran through Ridley's tail after taking the fireball hit. And so Cemo still had iframes from the fireball when they ran through the tail, and so didn't take the tail hit.
Do you think Cemo reacted with the fireball hit and said, hey, I can use this to get through?
I can't say. That seems more
Regardless.
like Ridley's tail is the worst thing in your nightmares.
Oh, it's atrocious. It hits for...
I can't remember exactly. I don't bother remembering how much it hits for because it just kills me if I get hit by it.
It hits for death. That makes
Like,
sense.
it doesn't kill you immediately, but you don't have that much energy to spare.
And we did see that Cemo there got hit. I think that was a claw, and then got caught in the spike there
Ridley
as well.
was either dead or a couple shots from death.
Hmm.
But the way that he swoops at the end can be difficult to predict and easily kill you. And the way that Ridley just went through the platform right there was really rude to
Oh,
Kev.
speaking of the tail. Tail
Yeah.
just got to Kev.
This is where the RBO match gets real. It's like everything leading up to this, there's a few minutes sway here or there, but you're
Mhm.
trading off against your success chances in the Ridley fight.
And I was going to give a yap on saying just the one X Factor, partially because they've got so many supers going as well.
Yeah, you notice the world record RBO fight will use 2 X Factors, but it's difficult to get 2 X Factors to line up with no damage taken,
Hmm.
and they have more supers.
Tilly in chat, appreciate the info there. Ridley tail dealing 120 damage with no suit. Ow.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty sure it's 100 something plus. I think his body is 160. If you get body, it's even worse.
Yep. So the real play is to not get hit. This is what it comes down to.
Seamo's trapped here again, trying to get it back into range to Crystal Flash.
Yeah, now with full supers is going to be seeing energy come in a lot more. And is able to get that going. I think
Didn't
Kev,
quite catch what killed Kev.
I think he didn't have reserve.
Oh, yeah, because he lost it in Firefly's room.
Yes. And that's coming back to haunt a little bit.
And Simo is also haunted by the spike hit in Firefly's room by not having as much energy for this hell run.
Yeah, it's at the time it wasn't any risk of death by any stretch, but it has effects. It makes the difference later on. With all the prep and
That's
resources
Giga
being
hit
sent.
for Kev is bad.
Three no drops. Okay.
Simo has a really clean Ridley fight, putting out those supers really efficiently.
Did take one hit there. I think that was a body hit. I'm not sure.
That was a body hit.
Okay. But still,
But
whew, good
Ridley
grab.
is dead and Simo is not.
And like you said, you've got that reserve helping out with the death animation grab. Oh, we're fine. This is fine. Everything is fine.
Yep, that's how it
Cemo's
goes.
fine.
So if you've got like 90 in the reserve, you can pause at the right time and still survive.
Uh-huh.
But if you've got less than, say, 98 in the reserve and you don't pause, you die.
Any clips being able to grab that from chat on how much health Cemo had when the drops came in?
It'll probably be like 2 or 3.
I'm almost certain it was single digits.
Yeah, so Cemo needs to have 10 missiles before leaving this room. And that's going to be the sticking point here. You can actually get missiles from the Funes, which would cost less energy, so maybe it's better to do that. That depends on... Yeah, Cemo's low enough now that he has to stay here until he
Right.
has enough power bombs to Crystal Flash on the way through the inner stairs. This is why you don't want to farm to full supers afterwardly. You just want to get just enough to get your Crystal Flash on your way out. Because the longer you spend farming here, the less energy you have to finish getting out. And of course, the bugs vastly prefer energy and supers over missiles.
Mm-hmm. I think we just saw a PB drop even come in for cemo.
cemo needs that PB.
Yeah. Also needs missiles though. But it's just like, you're like, oh, they're health and supers and health and supers. You drop something else, then it drops a PB instead. Well, I do need that.
cemo needs the
There's a
power
missile.
bomb for the Crystal Flash, and will also need a power bomb for the statue in the PBs of Shame Room.
There's some more missiles coming in. PBs you just get a little more reliably later on. Whereas, I guess missiles,
Yeah,
not
I expect
as
cemo
much.
will collect the PBs of Shame in order to make them the PBs of Staying Alive.
Uh-huh.
Got a free power bomb drop from the Holtz.
All right,
Could
Kev
get
moves on
PBs
to
of Shame now.
Kev moves on to Ridley as well. A friendly Pogo to start things off.
Yeah, Ridley always starts with the Pogo.
I don't know, man. I don't trust him.
He's got a certain health value before he will start swooping instead of pogoing.
A little bit of an acid bath, and Kev is going to go ahead and just say, all right, let's get another reset in.
Yeah, Kev also took a body hit. cemo narrowly avoided a body hit from the Death Giga. Fortunately, in RBO, you don't have to manipulate the key hunters going up, because you can just screw attack through them.
Here's the clip from chat. Let's see just how low it was.
Bear Bunny says it was 2, so yeah.
Yep, I see it at 2. June the Moon 4. Welcome in. Welcome to all the viewers. This is the reverse boss order, so we are killing Ridley first, then we're going to Dragon, then Fantoon, and then Kraid.
Oh, okay. Not going for Spike Suit. cemo went through the door with Speed Echo, so I thought cemo was going to go for the Spike Suit, which is carried through Meridia to save a minute after Batroon.
Mm-hmm.
Did not actually do it because I think cemo didn't have enough energy to do it safely. So possibly a place where cemo was about to do the strat and then looked at the energy and saw that it was not a good idea. Because to do the spike hit, you take a spike hit. Ooh, that viola hurts.
Very much so, but it does have that reserve to fall back on, and of course Bubble Mountain is not heated, so much as the background would make you think otherwise.
Yeah, cemo is live and can leave. So doesn't need the Bubble Mountain save, but should probably use the tunnel save just to avoid the risk of a crab ending your life.
Alright, Kev coming up to Ridley. Onto the breach once more. I think there was a tail hit going on. Always painful to see, and yeah, just a little more into the bath is...
Sometimes
so
when
rough.
you're trying to turn Ridley around, he decides to just go into reverse and not turn around. that drift backwards is one of the worst things he can do, besides just being alive.
Yeah, well put. It's so unforgiving coming at this knife's edge.
This is basically what playing RBO is like.
Mm-hmm.
You throw yourself against Ridley until you get through. Got a clean wasteland, so...
Metal Pirates haven't always been cooperating with
Oh, nice
with
strat
him as
from
well.
cemo to go up the left side of the fish and use it to wall jump.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're pressing against a frozen enemy, it actually pushes you upwards. So you can jump higher by pressing against the enemy than you would normally. So if you don't crouch for this jump that Cemo's doing, the down grab is very tight. But you can do it without the crouch. A lot of people will go all the way over to the left and start the jump from the slope. That's a perfect Everest.
About as good as you could ask for sure. When you're doing
also
this,
deals a lot of damage, so it's good to take this safety before Botwoon.
oh, definitely. I was gonna say, when you're coming into Meridia, of course, still haven't picked up gravity. You don't have the heat or anything going on. But what's kind of the primary, like, what's the biggest threat? What's the biggest fear for you, Kai?
Meridia is a time loss. Like, you might think that when you miss a jump in the rest of the game, it costs you time. Meridia is a damage multiplier for time loss.
That's a great way to put it. I love that.
Little missed jump will cost you 5 to 10 times as much as it would anywhere else. Like, the difference between Cemo's Everest, which costs like probably 11 or 12 seconds, and if you fall once or just miss wrong way, it could cost like, say, 30 to 40 or even a solid minute to get through Everest.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Botwoon could easily cost you another 30 to 40 seconds also. Oh, that's what's going on with Kev. So Kev is standing in the acid for a bit to damage down to Crystal Flash range a little bit sooner. But he's not quite getting out of the acid soon enough. So he's just a little bit too low after getting out of the acid.
Yeah, I don't think that's been the case every time. I think previously, like, there were some bad bug hits that put him into the acid early.
Yeah.
Or unexpected or such,
name for
but
that room is Banana Farm, because it's so easy to slip and fall in the acid. And it's also a farm room.
And yeah, that's definitely what got at least once. But in that case, I agree, that was the getting into the acid to try to accelerate the time down to Crystal Flash range. Unfortunately, just stayed in a little too long. Great enemy freezing by cemo to just move a little bit faster than grappling around. Metroid's coming in handy more than most people would think.
Coliseum is another room where it's really easy to lose a minute. Like, falling down right there, instead of getting the D-boost on top of the spikes, just costs like 20 seconds.
That was still
actually, probably more like 10 or 15.
yeah,
Cemo
that was a
recovers
great
from that a lot
recovery.
very quickly.
Yes. Yeah, the recovery by cemo to be able to latch around was really, really great. Exact said it yesterday very well when she was on comms to say that the difference between an okay runner and a good runner is the crystal flash. Sorry, I just got distracted by that for a moment.
That crystal flash went wrong in so many ways. You can go back and watch it for yourself and see how it went wrong, but that had multiple
PB just a little high.
Once.
Yeah.
Didn't have powerbomb selected, bounced and laid a normal bomb, and then jumped and laid a powerbomb really high because of the normal bomb bounce. Cemo needs to do a crystal flash during Dragon's next goop and get interrupted during the crystal flash animation to get a spike suit. And when Dragon interrupts the crystal flash, it stops draining the ammo, which is good because you might want that ammo later.
It pulls from missiles and then supers, and then power bombs.
So Cemo right there got interrupted during the wind-up for a spark. Not during the spark itself, but during the wind-up before the spark to convert the spike suit to a blue suit. Converting it makes the climb out of Dragon's room much easier. It's possible to climb out with the spike suit, but more difficult, so it's easier to just convert it. Plus, the conversion lines up nicely with the grapple kill.
Hello, Banana Farm, my old friend.
See, Cemo does this nice grapple jump out. This is where the extra ammo can come in nicely, because if you have enough energy for another crystal flash after Dragon, and your grapple jump goes very badly, you can do another crystal flash to refill. And that blue suit gives you the spark out. So that's the two obstacles of Dragon's room completed.
Now, of course, with space and a screw, it's just smooth flying for Cemo. I would be saying just about anything on Kev's Ridley fight, but honestly, I just don't want to jinx it. See, the moment I say something, I open my big fat mouth.
I have not been saying anything on Kev's Ridley fight. You can't blame me.
All right, so Cemo, we're not gonna calm curse that anymore.
Cemo is going to collect Plasma next because Plasma is really helpful against Mother Brain. And also against Fantoon. Fantoon has 2500 energy. The charged Plasma shot will deal 900. So each round you can do 4 missiles and a charged Plasma shot and get a 2-round Fantoon for free. You don't need any fancy Doppler stuff.
I was looking to get some way to kind of like Doppler is 175 beats per minute, right? Or 350?
Can't remember exactly.
I know 175 is a mark for it.
Yeah, 175 is probably a good one because the cooldown for missiles is 6 missiles per second if
Yep.
you're frame perfect, which would be um, which would be uh, double 180.
Yep.
It would be 360, but if you're going exactly that and you go a little bit over one time, you'll miss one. So it's better to go a little bit under and not run that risk of missing one.
Or we just get plasma. Because this is RBO, so.
Yep. That's possible. I've never seen that strat before crab maze. Just cleanly jumping up through the one tile gap.
Easy first try.
Didn't quite get the short charge to spike across spiking room of death. Cemo lined up and did a stutter before entering that shaft room, but didn't quite get the other parts of the short charge to spark through.
Nice little speedball through. Knock down that boss door. See,
Kevin
the minute
finally taken out Ridley.
the minute we don't say
300
anything,
energy left. Like, if you actually get through a clean fight and don't take any hits, you don't hit the reserve.
that really was a great fight. I was watching, I wasn't speaking, but keeping an eye on it. It was very, very well done by Kev.
Yeah. And that's part of the benefit of having that extra super pack from Meridia, because 30 supers alone is enough to kill Ridley. And then the X Factor is just a little bit of icing so that you can afford to miss a super. And there's that 2-round Phantom.
Very, very clean shots on Cemo's part to get that wiped right out. But yeah, now Kev is free. Well, not completely. We'll still need to get out from everything with low and Orfair. But his screw
Still needs
attacks,
a couple more supers before he's free.
free from the Ridley fight for now. We get it farmed up. Make his way out.
Yeah, you notice how he's keeping grapple selected through this Flower House room, so that when he can turn around, he can just use grapple to quickly farm the energy drops.
A lot of people don't know that you can just use grapple to collect items as well, or collect drops, I should say.
Man, I wish you could use it to collect items. Just zap the item from across the room.
That'd save some frames. Yeah. Save a few frames here or there.
Cemo did not open the door above the elevator before going down. So normally you'd open that door above the elevator before actually riding the elevator so that you don't have to open it when you come back. Kev entered the room on 51. He can't quite Crystal Flash.
Just take a little boulder hit here.
Yeah.
Looks scary, but he's okay.
The flames deal 60, the boulder only deals 40. So
Only
the flame would have killed him.
Yeah.
So he had to think carefully and think, okay, what? Okay, boulder will work, flame will not. So planning on the fly is part of RBO.
About this part in RBO, people say, "Do we forget something?" Is there? Oh yeah, there's Kraid. Oh yeah, we got to go say hi to him. Cemo on their way down. Get that quick kill and get on out. Not even stop for the suits.
Yeah, the Mother Brain's Rainbow Beam deals 600 damage if you have no suits. And you might notice we have more than 6 tanks, so we don't need Varia suit. And since we already did Meridia, we don't need Gravity suit. Suits just aren't helpful enough at this point.
Yeah, there's just... Why bother with... For Gravity, it's a lot of rooms going through. A lot of extras that you can just bypass. For Varia, sure, it's just one room past Kraid, but why? Yeah, you don't need it. All we need to do is tick that box for G4. With a clean, quick Kraid kill. That's a tongue twister. Cemo is out. Great tear through. Good wall kick.
I think that morph was accidental.
Could have fooled me. Cemo is moving with a passion for sure.
So now Kev is paying the price for his double Meridia trip where he has to grease this fish the slow way.
That was so good though.
Yep. That's one of the things that you have to practice if you're doing double Meridia. Is getting up on that fish quickly. It's easy to lose another minute doing that.
What a great mainstream climb by Kev. Kev, excuse me.
So you notice Kev crouched on that spot where Seymour was just doing a normal jump over. And so Kev got the down grab up onto the next ledge pretty first try. Whereas Seymour with his no crouch strat took like 3 or 4 tries. See, Kev fell a bit short in Everest, so maybe she was pointed at 30 seconds lost. Oh, more like 15.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe closer to 10 to 15 in this case. It was a really, really great recovery. And that's so hard to pull off in the perfect type measure.
Yeah. One thing that you don't see much is these players actually practice Meridia for hours. They'll go through Meridia dozens of times. Kevin's not taking a save before Batoon, which is fine. He has plenty of energy. Batoon is not a real danger if you play it safe. Just don't stand in front of the train.
Definitely. Yeah, like you said, can do some damage. Can do, not some, but can do substantial damage. But for the most part, especially at Kev's energy, gonna end up being okay. Feed some supers in. Very, very good Batoon.
As we all know, Batoon drops 0 supers. If you ever see Batoon drop 7 supers, that person's probably cheating.
Absolutely is. It's a modded, 100% modded Super Metroid. Batoon doesn't know that supers exist in the game until you introduce it, to his face.
Cemo is playing fast and loose with those supers on the Metroid set. Not worrying about the drops, just going for the fast strats.
Yeah, it doesn't even
Which
turn
is
to pick up
fine.
more.
20 missiles and 16 supers is way more than you would have in 80%.
Gonna be more than enough to get through the glass jar and knock that brain out. Hey, Raiders, welcome in. Go Samus, do the thing. Samus is doing lots of the things, that's for sure. Right now, the thing is skipping the baby and going for some shrimp.
And the other thing is, Happy Climb Room posing some trouble.
Yeah, Kev was able to get through. Come on, Samus. Oh, I hate...
Grapple is kind of unreliable. Sometimes you don't get the wall jump pose when you're grappling, you just get the hanging pose.
The first part of Go Samus was Go Samus, but the second part is do the thing. Needed to get that wall jump pose, like you said.
Timo got a nice clean first try Zeb skip.
Normally get a turret scam where a missile gets eaten is just infuriating and terrifying, but that's on the 90% where you're cutting as close as you can. There was one super got eaten up on Cemo's end. Not a problem.
So that catch-up beam deals 400 per hit when you have no suit. It is
Jeez.
entirely possible to have your RBO run suddenly end at Mother Brain because you took one catch-up hit.
Kev getting that crystal flash. Blue suit going. Looked really good.
He's
Not
got
just
the
waiting
spike
them
suit,
next.
now he's just waiting for another goop.
Yeah, Spike said thank you.
Sometime next year. Sometimes Dragon will just swoop like 10 times in a row. Got a perfect conversion and grapple kill, so Dragon is dead.
No more shrimp in this round. Have to wait for the next round.
Yeah. Dragon will come back in the next race.
Baby, yes, you're being very helpful, but I'm trying to shoot Mother Brain.
Yeah, RBO is one of the categories that gets to do the stand-up glitch where Cemo made Mother Brain miss a salvo, so Mother Brain will have to shoot an extra time now. Mother Brain has a set. The baby has energy, and each time Mother Brain shoots it with 4 onion rings, the baby takes damage. When the baby hits 0, when the baby hits 0 and Samus is at full, the baby will fly off screen and come back for the death. But one of Cemo's jumps caused Mother Brain to miss with 2 of the onion rings. So
the
it
baby
took
didn't hit 0.
Mother Brain an extra time to actually fire the final onion rings and kill the baby.
Mother brain down, alarms going off, steam scam at the ready. Cemo is on their way out. Good B. All the way up climb. It's almost seems like the easiest part with everything, all the trials and tribulations before going on. RBO is so difficult.
It's really front loaded. Like once you're past Ridley is downhill. Dragon is also its own difficulty, but after that,
Tricky more than difficult, maybe.
yeah,
But
I've had Dragon
just-
kill me enough times
yeah, difficult in their own right.
in its own way. Cemo has taken home the win for this race. We'll be back for our game 2 in a bit.
This is a best of 3. The helmets at the bottom will light up to indicate rounds 1. We do not know what the category is for the second game. So it's a great time to stretch, refill your water, go to the washroom real quick, do what you need to. Cemo and Kev will be back in game 2, and we will too to join y'all. We will come back. We'll let you know what the next category is as soon as we find out.